The other day, I got an email from someone who said this: I'm so mad with myself. I managed almost a whole month without drinking, but for some reason, I bought some wine one Saturday evening when I was at home alone. However, I only had one glass that first night, and I thought I had reset myself and things were okay. Unfortunately, there have been many more drinks since then. I've lost control and I feel like I'm back to square one again. So this is actually a very common experience to have. I hear about it all the time. So I want to talk about it because what's happened to this lady here isn't a personal failing. So she hasn't actually lost control. This is actually a very predictable outcome of using a drug like alcohol. Because here's the thing, when you take a break from drinking and then go back to it, your tolerance to the drug is really low. So that means you don't need as much in order to feel the effects. And this can trick people into thinking that they have suddenly cracked this whole moderation thing and now they're in control. Because suddenly they can have one drink and stop. However, it's temporary. The next time they have a drink, they will need a little bit more to get the same effect. And then even more the next time and the time after that, until very quickly things are right back where they were before. So can you see, the lady who emailed me here, she hasn't lost control over alcohol. She never really had it in the first place. You don't ever have control over an addictive, mind-altering drug. And we certainly don't talk about controlling nicotine, cocaine, or heroin. People don't take a month off vaping and then say, okay, that's it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in control of this now. Alcohol is the only drug that we are obsessed with trying to exert some control over. We make alcohol addiction about the person and we blame the individual rather than looking at the real problem, which is the drug. So that's why I wanted to talk about tolerance today, because I see this issue confusing people and it feeds into this narrative that drinking too much is some kind of personal failing. And often, as I saw in that example, it's not the first drink after a break that's the problem. It's what it opens the door to later on that is the real issue. And once you understand that we are just talking about an addictive drug here and you have a low tolerance to it after a break from using it, but that is going to increase, well, then you can stop making this all so personal. Because when you make this all about you and your personal failing, that's very shaming. And when something feels shameful, it can actually then become much harder to change. This tolerance issue is important, and it's why most tips and tricks to help you moderate don't work. Because ultimately, it doesn't really matter what you do or whether you alternate, alcohol with water or how much effort and energy you put into trying to stick to 1 or 2 glasses. Over time, you will always need more to drink in order to get the same effect. Otherwise, you won't feel satisfied. Think about that. Can you see what a bad deal this is? Moderation means you have to put all this energy and focus into controlling your drinking, or trying to, only buying those little small bottles, only drinking after a set time, jumping through this hoop or that hoop or whatever. And then, even then after all that, you don't feel satisfied. It's still not that good. All that decision making and rule following is tiring, and you're not even really satisfying your craving for alcohol because you are not drinking in the way that you truly want to. I think that's a lot of discomfort to put yourself through for very little reward. So what I invite you to consider is this. Could you get more satisfaction from not drinking at all? I know it's kind of back to front, but what have you got to lose? Moderation is proving to be this very hard, unsatisfying, unsustainable solution for you. Drinking hell for leather also creates its own world of pain that I don't even need to tell you about, you know. So what if alcohol-free living was where the real freedom, the real satisfaction and joy is? And it's just hiding in plain sight right in front of you. It's hiding from you because sobriety has this image problem and it can be tough to begin with. It takes some work to get into a rhythm with it, build up your momentum and do the mindset work and untangle your thoughts about it all. But I have no doubt that you can do that. Because if you can manage to drink and put up with those endless day ones and the hangovers, you've got more than enough grit for this. And the freedom and joy that alcohol-free living will provide you with in the long run, it's all so worth it. It's such an easy, happy way of life. If you can just stick with this, get your head straight and get past those tricky early days and weeks. If you are ready to give sobriety a proper test drive, but you are having trouble getting your sober car on the road, so to speak, let me help you with that. I am running a free webinar just for women who are considering taking a break from drinking and who want that break to be a success. I'm going to put some information about this webinar below. It's free to join. You just need to register for it so I can send you the details.